Here's another 20 secrets that you probably missed in Dark Souls, and one bonus secret at the end that you definitely need to know about. But before we get started, don't forget to like and subscribe and ring that bell to make sure you don't miss out on even more Dark Souls content. Number 1. To kick things off, let's head on over to our cell in the Undead Asylum, and to be honest, there's not much in terms of amenities, but at least they gave our hollowed friend a pot to poop in. Number 2. Oscar of Astora plays a key part at the beginning of our Dark Souls journey, and not much is known about this kind knight who gives us our freedom. One thing we are pretty certain about though, is that just prior to our final meeting with Oscar, it's safe to say that he was on the roof of the Undead Asylum fighting the Asylum Demon, and well, things didn't go too well for him. How else could he have ended up in a slumped state on a pile of rubble, in a room that's only door is completely destroyed? Well, the shining ray of light coming from the hole in the roof is a pretty good indicator that the Asylum Demon Hulk smashed his ass into oblivion while they were going toe to toe on the roof. Number 3. During the character creation selection, if you choose to start the game as either a cleric or a knight, the standard joy gesture will be replaced with the prayer gesture. Number 4. Just before you enter the Asylum Demon's boss arena, you can actually get a sneak peek at him if you look through the hole just above the door near the first bonfire. Number 5. When sitting down at a bonfire, did you know that there are actually 3 different sitting poses that your character will use? Sitting cross-legged, sitting knees up hand in hand, and sitting one knee up and one knee down. Number 6. Stamina management is key in Dark Souls. You need stamina for pretty much everything. But who knew that this even included climbing ladders? That's right, if you manage to start climbing a ladder with a low stamina bar, or get a little punchy about halfway up, your character will wobble off and land on their back on the floor. Number 7. Kindling a bonfire allows you to carry more Estus flasks, and with each kindling, the flame of the bonfire grows in size as well. Number 8. When timed correctly, you can actually use either the Wrath of Gods or the Force Miracle to deflect enemy spells, but this is easier said than done. Number 9. In my recent video, 10-Year Dark Souls Mystery Finally Solved, I discussed that From Software removed 2 developer messages that could only be viewed by using Seek Guidance. One of these messages was "Try Lightning," and was placed just before the pinwheel boss. The idea here is that if you use the Lightning Spear Miracle, it will spread across the water and kill the clone pinwheels. So I thought I'd give it a try in another area, to see just how effective it would actually be. While this may have not been the most optimal boss to try it on, the Hydra went down eventually. Number 10. You can actually see the Darkroot Garden's Moonlight Butterfly before you even fight it. That's right, if you go to the door of Artorias, the one with the bonfire next to it, turn around and look up a bit, you can see it resting on one of the buildings. Number 11. I'm not certain why this next one is the way it is, but some fog gates have different messages depending on which side of them you access them from. If you head to the Darkroot Garden fog gate after the bonfire, it will read, "Traverse the White Light." But if you head around and access it from the other direction, it will read, "Enter through the White Light." I wonder why the developers felt the need to make a distinction here. Number 12. In the Darkroot Gardens, you will find a family of mushrooms, with 2 mushroom parents and a whole clan of mushroom children. But have you ever noticed that the mushroom children are constantly circling the parents? Number 13. Sen's Fortress is full of all sorts of goodies, but just after the balcony bonfire, hidden in a little nook, you can find a charred chest containing the Flame Stoneplate Ring. To my knowledge, this is the only chest that is visually burned. It's a nice little touch. Number 14. In creating the lands of Lordran, From Software drew inspiration from the real world. One place that we can see this as clear as day is in Anor Londo. Did you know that the exterior of the Anor Londo Chapel is based on Il Duomo Cathedral in Milan? That's right! In an interview for DesignWorks, designer Masanori Waragai states, "When I visited the cathedral in Milan, I walked beneath the buttresses and I thought, how fun it would be to walk on them." And also, the Anor Londo interior is almost a carbon copy of the Chateau Chambord in France. The first time I saw these images, I was gobsmacked by just how similar they are to each other. Number 15. This next one doesn't really count as a fair secret, as it's cut content, but I will still give you points if you knew about it. Down in New Londo Ruins, we were originally due to face off against a very different boss altogether. Introducing King Jar-Il. It is believed that this boss would be tied into a quest line with Ingrid, and he would need to be defeated in order to obtain the key to the seal. Number 16. Blighttown is renowned for being a bit of a pain in the backside, and one of the reasons is the constant barrage of pesky giant mosquitoes attacking you as you try to traverse this area. But did you know that the mosquitoes will actually only spawn in from a few different locations? And even then, you will only ever get a maximum of 7 giant mosquitoes from one spawn point. So if you take your time and take them out down on the ground, you should be good for the rest of the area. Number 17. The Duke's Archives is a beautifully designed Grand Library puzzle area that you will need to traverse in order to get to Seath the Scaleless. At the Archives core is a moving staircase that connects the different sections of the Archives together. But did you know that Miyazaki drew inspiration for the moving staircase and this area from none other than Harry Potter? That's right. And not only that, but the NPC you meet just after the Duke's Archives, Sieglinde, was also designed to look like Emma Watson's character Hermione. Who knew Miyazaki was such a Harry Potter fan? Number 18. Just before you enter Seath's boss room, you will find several giant clams blocking your path. If you look closely, you will see that instead of giant clams containing pearls, they are actually crystallized skulls. Number 19. When facing Gravelord Nito, you will more often than not be greeted by his Gravelord dance attack, whereby he plunges his sword into the ground, followed by a deafening scream, and up shoots an orange sword straight into your legs. Well, one cheeky strategy for this is to two-hand your weapon and hold block. When you do this, your character's feet will actually stand further apart, causing Nito's attack to go between the legs instead of hitting you. It is worth noting that this only works with some weapons, as others don't give you the correct stance. Number 20. In the Artorias of the Abyss DLC, after facing off against Knight Artorias, you will see a bluey-black liquid trailing its way all through the Ulyssil township. This is Artorias' blood, and you can actually follow his bloody trail to see his route he took when he fled the Chasm of the Abyss. Bonus secret. And finally, if those last 20 secrets weren't enough, this one will definitely wet your whistle. Did you know that the Titanite demon located on the bridge between Lost Izalith and the Demon Runes is broken? Well, you may have noticed that unlike all other Titanite demons, this one respawns, and there's a very good reason for that. The Titanite demon, also referred to as the Prowling Demon or the Faceless Demon, is an intimidating foe that often guards valuable items or important areas. And it's also one of the few sources of the rare Demon Titanite used for upgrading most boss weapons and demon weapons. As mentioned before, usually in Dark Souls the Titanite demons don't respawn, making any Demon Titanite that they drop a rare and finite commodity. However, due to what is most likely an unintentional coding error, the Demon Titanite respawns when it's not supposed to. As discovered by modder King Bora, usually enemies are coded with an entity ID, which should match the map ID schema of the area that it is located in. Enemies in Lost Izalith should start with 141, as the area ID is M14_01. However, our Rogue Titanite Demon's entity ID is 1310150. This then causes the script that prevents it from respawning to fail, as it's looking for an entity ID of 1410150 and not 1310150. A simple number typo is all that is causing an upgrade item that should be limited to being easily farmable, and as so much time has passed, it would seem the devs are happy to leave it that way. So whether intentional or accidental, it's a nice little surprise, even if it does mean we have to fight Titanite demons over and over again. And for now, that's it! Make sure you let me know in the comment section below how many of these you already knew about. Thanks for watching, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe for more Dark Souls content.